everybody. It's time for another episode of the Chicago 60 Podcast. Do we have an amazing show for you tonight? We have a special guest that you can see right in front of you. But on this episode of the Chicago 60 Podcast, we are talking about comedy in Chicago. Stand-up, improv, Zanies, Laugh Factory, Chicago, New York, LA. It's comedy all night. That is what we're talking about. We might have a little bit of a smack for the Packers, and we always end with the Jack of the Week. It's all for you this week on the Chicago 60. And now, gentlemen, it's time for
It's the podcast, y'all. It's podcast.
Hey, everybody! It's the Chicago 60 Podcast. Welcome back to the second episode here in 2020, and we have an amazing show for you. First of all, I am your illustrious host, Justin Azara. And across from me is my co-host and resident all-star superstar.
What up, yo? Ron Russell in the building.
Ron,
You know what it is.
how are you, Ron?
I'm doing pretty well today, brother. How you doing, man?
I just like that you called me brother. I'm doing super great. It's super great to see you.
Oh, it's always good to see you, man. It's good to be here.
Thank you. And of course, we have our man in the booth. It's
right.
Quiet Storm and Norman. Hello, Quiet Storm and Norman. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing all right.
Yeah.
Excellent. You have a lot of technology gizmos over there.
Yeah, I'm kind of busy.
Yeah. You like learning.
He's basically saying you are interrupting him while he's technology.
Oh,
Let him do his job.
oh
Yeah,
shit.
man.
Well, you're learning on the job is what you're doing. Yes. Fantastic. Well, with all that, so that's the C60 crew. That is JNR. We in the building. Tonight we're talking about comedy with a gentleman who we had on last year.
Yeah.
And he had to deal with Mike Jaworski last time he was interviewed. And that was a thing. It was a thing.
I was in the room and I was watching and I was
Yes.
like, man, dude, Mike needs to just bring it down.
Oh, man, it was...
Yeah, it was rough, man. Hey, but James, he a pro. He got through it.
Yes, he did. He
got through
was a superstar.
I mean, to be honest, I actually had a pretty good time. I actually enjoyed everything we
well,
did.
we're hoping you have another good time. And without further ado, sitting in the middle of me and Ron, I know that was poor English grammar, but I don't care. Sitting in between us is the man, the myth. He is the host of the Young Hustle Show at the Laugh Factory every last Friday of the month. He is also an amazing stand-up comedian that travels all around the city of Chicago, all over the United States, hosts open mics and other shows all around the city of Chicago. He is hilarious. He is unbelievable. He is undeniable, and he will make your ass laugh. We got here the man, the myth, the legend, St. James.
St. James.
Yo, block. I don't know if that's a gun. I don't know if that's a real gunshot.
I know, right?
But I'm just,
Pop.
Gunshots, you got them shots going on.
that's all I got.
Shots fired.
This ain't know I'm not a tough guy because my gunshots even sound kind of feminine. Block. What are you doing, nigga? What? Pew pew.
Those are definitely white bullets right
Yes.
Ha.
Those are female bullets.
Those are female bullets.
Those are female lasers.
White female bullets.
That's
Lasers.
so
female
funny.
lasers. Anyway, St. James, how are you, man?
I'm pretty good. How you doing?
I'm doing super great.
That's good.
Well, let's. Well, you have the right mind, and let's do a cheers to that.
I'm sorry. I'm an alcoholic. I dropped.
Cheers to you, Quiet Storm and
Oh my
Norman.
goodness.
That's good stuff right there.
The sweet taste of cheap American beer. I love it. It's so good.
Speak for yourself.
That's right. Tonight's episode is being sponsored by the beer of tonight, which is PBR.
Really?
Yes, and or Stella Artois. I'm not sure what actually is in. It's one of
I
those two.
thought it was an old style.
Old Style.
Yeah.
The beer of tonight is Old Style.
That's
Because
right.
we keeping it classy. It's the new 20s. And we wearing really heavy coats, suit jackets, and vests and hats. Fedoras are back in. Or maybe they're not. I don't know. But yeah, so thanks, Old Style. And this episode is being brought to you by Zanies Comedy Club. Hey, do you like to go have a good laugh and have it, and you're not sure if you want to go to one comedy club or the other one, but you kind of hear that this one comedy club is like the one that you're supposed to go to, and then you get in there and you're like, wow, it's really cramped in here, but I think I can go with it. And then you pay for a ticket, and then you have to pay for a lot of drinks, and then you have a good time, and then you're like, wow, that was a great place. I'd love to go back again and see some other great comedians sometime. Well, then look no further than Zanies Comedy Club. Zanies, they're the other comedy club that's in the city, right next to the second city. Because they got confused and were like, let's put all the comedy in one spot. So Zanies, go there, have a good time. Tickets online at some place that's their website. Zanies. All right.
Man, you must get paid a lot for that promotion.
No, actually, those are our ghetto.
Oh, thank God. So this is a routine. All right, cool.
Oh, yeah. No, we're hoping that eventually people
Somebody
actually...
will pick us up
Okay.
like, yo, we will fuck with y'all.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I thought they were like, yeah, we're gonna give y'all some money and do your best. And he was like, okay, cool.
keep
Justin.
We'll keep pretending.
Oh, no, that was just a bit.
That's just bits. Oh,
We're-
this whole show
There will
is a
be
bit.
commercials spread out throughout the episode.
Oh, my
That's
goodness.
the first one.
Thank
So
goodness.
thanks,
Oh,
Zanies.
trust
Thank
For
goodness.
your-
We gonna keep you
keep you on toes, my
and
friend.
unsure
yes,
throughout
sir.
this whole process.
Who knows what's going to happen? But I do know what's going to happen now, and that is that we're going to get into this topic, which is comedy and how it happens in our lovely city, a Midwestern town that starts with the C, ends with an O, and has Chicago in the middle of it.
That's pretty much true.
Chicago.
That's right.
Cheers to Chicago, our favorite city in the whole wide
Chicago.
world. Okay, now, St. James.
Okay.
You do this thing that they call stand-up comedy in the city. I have done this. I have done some open mics and things like that. Now, what I really want to talk to you about is I've been out of the scene for a little bit, and you are very much in the scene. Now, I see you. You do a lot of different shows. So you have your show at the Laugh Factory on Fridays, last Friday of every month, the Young Hustle Show. And then I've also seen that you host some open mics. I've seen you doing some stuff in the Burbs.
Oh,
and
I
things
do
like
a
that.
lot of stuff. Yeah.
Yes, and then there's
That's a good
Buddy
thing,
show,
though. So I run.
Our friend Kevin Budke was.
Oh
on
yeah, my
that.
buddies. Yeah.
My buddies.
Yeah.
So my question to you, I'd love for you to kick off with, is what are you noticing today in the Chicago comedy scene, particularly stand-up wise right now, that you are finding is maybe different from like a few years ago to now? Is there any difference?
Yeah.
Stuff than when we
So-
last talked to you.
So my answer right now, it might be off because it's the new year, and it's the new year, so a lot of people are like really trying to do comedy. But what I've noticed in Chicago since I've started is, one, the age limit for comedy has gone down. Like it's a lot younger group of people trying it, and on average, I think most of the comedians in Chicago are just naturally better. Now I don't know why, but a lot of people I've seen like. A good example, like if you ever just randomly went to a show, you're gonna have a great time. I'm not talking about Laugh Factory, Zanies, clubs you should have a good time, but bar shows, some shows that like they're begging you to come in. Usually those shows that sometimes they're good, a lot of times they're bad.
It's like hit or miss.
Exactly. But right now in Chicago, I've noticed even the bar shows are becoming really good. So I think that's something.
That's
Yeah,
really good.
it's
That's
really.
good.
I remember when I was doing open mics.
It's awful.
And it was horrific.
Exactly.
And I was like, oh, I thought it was funny.
Oh, that's so bad.
Guess not.
Which is honestly is kind of the good part though, because
Well, you have to fail. That's number one.
exactly. And then would
fail
you
often.
respect comedy if everybody was just good at it?
No.
Nah.
You gotta
No,
have
it's
some
an
bad
art.
ones. You gotta
Yeah.
have some bad ones, kind of
Yeah.
fake, make fun of them. No, you still make fun of them. That's part of comedy.
Well, first of all, I give you a lot of credit for being a stand-up. 'Cause
Absolutely.
I consider myself a comedian. I describe myself as a comedian. I have done stand-up. Some.
Hey, it'd be like
I mean, it'd be like that
But-
for real.
The reason why I stopped doing stand-up was, one, I love doing accents and things like that, and I don't know if you gentlemen can tell, but I am white. And, you have to be a little careful with what types of accents and things you do. And I was like, oh shit! All right,
Really?
well, I gotta be very careful here.
a white boy got to worry about what accents.
Yeah,
God,
yeah.
Let me tell you, the
Well,
impression against white people these
I
days.
didn't know. Cool.
Sorry.
So, that's funny. Well, it's good to know. If we're being honest on this podcast, I'm
Be
loving
honest.
it.
Oh, please be honest.
Oh, we are. All right.
100%
All right.
honest time right here, my friend.
You get
Look,
shit
this
off
is
the
the
chest.
yes,
Okay,
yes,
cool.
Yes,
Well,
yes.
to your point, it's just first of all, got a lot of white friends, a lot of male white friends, love them, but it's just not a great time to be a white male in comedy, which is not like an edgy thing to say. That's just
that's a legit thing.
yeah, it's not an edgy thing to say, which is interesting to me though because comedy might be one of the only industries where being a white male is fucking you. No other. Can I say fucking? I'm sorry.
No, you can curse.
Oh, I'm sorry.
good, dude.
Okay.
This is explicit. You can swear as much as you like.
Go for it.
Just do it.
Which I think is interesting because comedy might be the only industry where, as a white male, you're not like you don't have like a royal flush like in your hand. It's the only right now, just at this time. Now,
stick to.
It'll come back around.
Tomorrow can change.
Stick to banking.
White man can be back in control of everything else.
White man. As a white lady, though, it's a great time to be in comedy.
Yes, correct.
It's a great time to be in comedy.
It's not great.
And to be fair, let me just say this for all the haters. As a black guy, not that much better. Because even though as a black man, I do have an angle, it's almost second to a white guy right now. Only because...
Yeah, why would you say that?
Yeah, actually, that isn't actually...
Because when you think of great comedians, you think of all black guys. When you think comedy, you think a black male-dominant sport. So... It's only, and this is just because how beautiful comedy is. We want different perspectives, so we almost heard most of the black guys' perspective. Okay. Now the time, if we're talking angles, I don't care who you are. It's a white woman, a gay guy, a trans woman. All these angles, which are beautiful, is what people want to hear.
Yep.
And now as a black man, it's still dope to be black because people still want to hear my angle, but it's not as impelling as some lesbian or some. I don't even know. Maybe some guy who has a speech impediment or some guy who has his legs blown off. Those are different angles people ain't heard yet, if that makes sense.
It does. I do understand exactly what you're saying. The thing that I have a point of contention with that in general is that
What's that, Jay?
Each individual has their own voice in comedy.
True.
So you're always coming from a different background and a different view on life in general.
Hopefully, right?
Hopefully. Well, I mean... There are people who I imagine, but even each person has like a unique perspective of looking at things. I would also say this, and the best comedians out there today, the Bill Burrs, the Dave Chappelles. I like Tom Segura.
I love Tom Segura.
What's his Bert Kreischer?
I love him too.
I mean those guys.
You seen Sebastian
Maniscalco? Yeah. And he's an NIU boy. What's up? Huskies all the way. I don't really care about myself.
You could have. You could.
He gives me hope that I can be like him.
Hey,
that's
that's a good thing.
But they do what I think really is what I've noticed in stand-up is if you're doing really good observational humor, observational and storytelling. If you can combine observation,
you're killing it.
If you can do observational storytelling,
it
doesn't matter who the fuck you is.
You can pretty much set your career.
You're good.
Yeah.
You're solid.
Yep.
And if you can just time your jokes properly and cut out a good routine, I feel like you're good. Would you agree with that, or do you have a different take on that? I don't see like a lot of joke people like a Jimmy Carr anymore or a Dimitri Martin. Like I remember those guys were like joke dudes.
They hit you.
I don't see that as much. I don't see them. I don't see them.
That's interesting. I agree.
You're in there more, obviously.
I mean, if we just talk watching comedy, I think you know just as much as I do. If we're talking big names, I 100% agree with you. But it's still some like just people who are joking, but they're just not as big, which is a good point. I don't know why. Maybe it was just a different time. But yeah, definitely when you think big names, you think Dave and Chris Rock. Can't just say Chris. Rock, Chris. You think, that's it. I agree. I agree with your point.
Right? I also don't see a lot of people doing things like impressions and shit. And if there is somebody who's doing that, they're like the guy who does it.
Well, that's interesting because Eddie Murphy's coming back, so we'd love to see what his special looks like.
Wait. And it's funny. I was watching Eddie when he was on Seinfeld show on Netflix. Comedians go and get coffee, and it was funny. It was interesting to see Eddie on there, and he was just saying how he's been wanting to get back to stand up for a long time, and he said he has no new material, so he's like start from scratch. So he's got that kind of anxiety, which I think is really cool. I mean, for a superstar legend like him, put it into that perspective, and even a guy of his magnitude still has like those butterflies and still like, he's like, I'm going to the comedy clubs trying jokes out, kind of like somebody starting out. So I think that's just really, really cool. And for him to be candid like that, he could have just been like, I
100% agree.
But he actually was like, yo, I'm actually nervous, but I ain't got nothing new. Like, well, I don't have anything I'm ready for.
Nothing in my back pocket. I mean, I 100% agree. Dave Chappelle said this, and I say this all the time, just because, I do comedy. So you be trying to pat yourself in the back. But stand-up comedy is the purest art form, because it's like, it's no way to fake it. Every other thing you kind of could fake a little bit with the right angles, but you can't fake comedy.
No, you can't.
You cannot, and that's the cool thing. That's why Eddie Murphy talking about how he got nervous and how hard he actually had to work is dope, because you assume he's so good.
Right.
All
He
this,
just pick it up.
all this that came with talent. He didn't have to try, but oh no, he probably worked his ass off, and we just never seen it, so we didn't give him the credit of.
Right.
Go ahead.
Because you don't see all the work all the stuff you're doing behind the scenes. Yes. Nobody sees that shit. People just saying, "Oh, you're funny, you're funny." And you're bringing up a point from Eddie. I remember from. Have you seen Seinfeld's comedians getting coffee and coffee?
Yeah, that's what I was just saying.
He just said that.
Do you remember?
Did you just have a brain fart? I've been sitting here for the last 5 minutes.
Things right now. I'm like commentating.
Everyone you see, Justin doesn't listen to me, right?
It's all the things you see behind the scenes I'm doing. Yes.
Justin is so busy. He white privilege out right now.
That's so funny.
I can't. The white privilege coming out of me it's uncontrollable.
It's all good.
Oh, yeah.
We're all family
like
here.
a bad pus.
But no, that's exactly what I was saying, though. That's what I saw.
Well, there's also the one. Oh God, I'm gonna feel really bad. The one with Steve Harvey.
Okay,
not talking about that
I didn't
one.
mention that.
Okay, the one with Steve Harvey is
you
when I
just
was
saved
trying to
yourself.
go for.
That would
Thank you
be
very much.
hilarious if it was
I said the exact same one.
you're not talking about the Eddie Murphy one.
Oh, no, that wasn't the one.
Who's gonna say black man's opinion don't count? You fucking white man, goddamn. No, we're not doing that here. I love all of your thoughts. No, I was trying to say fucking
Steve Harvey.
Yeah, Steve Harvey. Okay, you just mentioned this. We both just mentioned this, which I think is to the point. Seinfeld and Steve are in some diner in the South Side. It's supposed to be amazing. I can't remember the name of it. And they're sitting, and Steve Harvey's talking about how he used to teach comedy classes. And people are like, "What do I need to do to be funny?" And Steve was like, tells Jerry, he's like, "Jerry, this is Jerry. I said, if you don't have it, you ain't gonna get it." And Jerry's like, "I know exactly what you're doing. Either you're funny or you're not. That's just it." That's basically what it is, right?
Is it,
I agree. Jerry Seinfeld said, I love Jerry.
Hilarious.
He said something that really caught my ear. He goes, normally, however funny you are when you start, that's how funny you are. And everything else you gain from that is usually just like you getting better at writing jokes or you just like going up a lot, so you just build that talent. So Jerry says he believes whatever funny you are when you start, that's how funny you are. Everything else is just how hard are you working. That's interesting. I don't know if I agree, but I don't know if I disagree. I thought it was just really a profound thought.
That's interesting. So Jerry's saying you don't get any smart. Oh, I'm not smart. You don't get any funnier than what you are.
He does
jokes and everything. Everything just gets better.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's saying you're just actually a better comedian.
Fine tuning, I guess we could say.
Exactly.
Fine tuning what you have through raw, natural talent.
You know what?
I kind of agree.
I can see that.
I can see that.
Today, it's funny. Something similar. I was watching First Take. What was it? Get Up. Anyway, they were talking about Tom Brady for a second. No, I'm sorry. Not Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers. They were saying that Aaron, will he be able to get back to the Super Bowl? It's his Super Bowl opportunity. Is the window closing?
Probably not.
Probably not. Because they said he's so talented, but he's getting older, and he's starting to show some flaws. They were saying that his mechanics are not as strong as you would think, like Tom Brady and Drew Brees. So they're saying if he works on his mechanics even more now, he'll be able to prolong his career. So it's like he's talented, but right now he really has to rely more on his mechanics. So as a comedian, you're funny, but you still need to work on those mechanics to keep yourself relevant.
Yep. Exactly.
And what, like, for you specifically, St. James, what do you don't have to give us your whole process, because that's like a magician giving away his secrets. But
I mean, I don't mind giving you my process.
all right, I would like to know, how do you go about it, and have you, like, what are you noticing other comedians are doing in your interaction with them, particularly in the Chicago scene?
So, I mean, that's a good question. So today's a weird day to ask me, because I actually today wrote out my whole set. I'm on this weird thing now where I've been reading books and shit. So I'm trying to be like productive with all my time and organized. So, but outside of today, so my new process is I wrote out my whole set. I'm going to try to work out an old joke with a new joke and just, some stuff like that. My process before this, What do you mean? Just like in general? Just because there's a lot of parts to it.
Like, so I'll just
Like
give
for
you
like
an
a
example.
show or just like writing a new joke or.
Yeah, just I guess in general, yes, because I'll tell you, when I was trying to do stand-up, I found this to be very interesting. But I guess I'm an overachiever, but I would think of all my jokes, I'd memorize my whole set, and I would go do my 5-minute set at an open mic. But I saw a lot of people, they just had a bunch of jokes. It almost made me feel like, am I doing something wrong? Because like I would see people with their notebooks and everything, and I see that they're trying stuff out. But I felt like, I almost felt like maybe I'm getting my routine out more because I'm not wasting seconds trying to find the next joke. So I'm trying to figure out, because I'm not really doing it stand-up anymore. What are you seeing in these open mics with these new comedians coming up? What are you seeing that type of thing, or people more?
Well, no. What you're saying is every open mic. It's always the people who go up there a little bit prepared and run through it. And then some people who go up there and half-ass it. And I'm a little bit in between. So what I like to do is, in general, I just like to get up as much as possible. I like to have a few things I want to work on, like a joke that I'm like, okay, let me just see if I can get a few new tags to it. So I'll go up there, but I'm also a big guy in leeway room where like if I might just go up there for a few seconds and just talk about absolutely nothing in the sense that because it's comedy, so I'm just trying to be funny. So I might go up there and if I'm in a like place like this, I'm like, damn nigga, this house look real good. You know what I'm saying? Hey man, I mean they ain't paying me for these jokes. I might try to take that TV real quick. You know what I'm saying? We just talking about, we got
exactly.
Something like that.
Get paid.
That's what I'm saying. There's some room to test out how funny I can be in the moment, and then also it makes me have to do a thing where like, okay, be funny, and now try to jump into your jokes without people noticing.
It's like freestyle, and then going into like some written.
That's exactly what it is. All right, we got a rapper right here. That's exactly what it is.
Oh, yeah.
So I do that.
We
And
have
then
all talented people
You
here.
Jesus, sorry, you're so stupid.
no, you're fine. No, you're fine. What? I'm not. I'm having a good time. So I try to jump into my jokes. And so when I was my most productive, I would jump into my jokes, do them.
Yeah.
Play. I know a lot of people who memorize their jokes, and I think that's a great way to do it. I've never liked to memorize my jokes because I always like the idea of just knowing where I'm starting and knowing where I'm ending and just trying to get there.
Oh,
that's always because for me, I like to write on stage a lot. Now I'm trying to write more off stage. And that's the other part. But I'm trying to write. I write a lot on stage. So a lot of times I go up there like, okay, I have a theory. You just see what happened.
Really?
That's it.
Dude, that's incredible.
Just see what happens.
Very interesting.
It is. And then if I like it, I'll redo it. If I don't like it, I change the things I don't like. And that's my practice. And now, whatever the best form of that is, if I'm doing a show, I stay with the best form.
Okay.
Even on a show, I'll play around with it a little bit because I don't like to, as an artist, I like to give myself a little leeway room. But if it's a big show, I'm not going to go up there and tell you I'm doing everything new. I know a little bit where I'm going, but that's because at an open mic, I played around with all my options.
I see that.
And that's how I like to get it down. And then I try to do as much stage time. Am I going too long?
No.
Okay.
This you. This you.
No.
Okay,
It's all
okay.
you.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Keep talking.
Yeah.
I'm good. I didn't want to.
No, you
okay.
Bro,
Stop being so
look,
goddamn
First
nice.
of all, nobody can talk more than me. So the more you're talking, the better this is. Norm just laughing. He's like, yes, this is true.
No one talks more than Double J, man.
Yes, that's correct.
Wait, so let me ask you this: How long would you say? Well, I mean, you pretty much been a funny guy all your life. You don't just start being funny like at 12 and shit. You're funny.
Ha.
My origin story starts at the ripe age of 12 when I learned how to make my first
That
joke.
would be so funny.
So, how long have you been doing this professionally?
Well, that's a good question.
We're all professionals here, man. When you people think just because you're not getting the income that you strive for, you might still have a couple in odds and end jobs and stuff, dude. But if you're putting forth effort, you sacrificing, hanging out with friends, women, not even seeing your family because you're at home working on your craft, dude, you're a professional.
I like that. I like that a lot.
You're not getting paid, whatever. Because you know what? You keep working on that craft.
The money will come.
The money will come.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's all those, like Jay says, all those little things that people don't see you do. So you're a pro,
If I
man.
may make a white person reference.
Please, Jay, make the
white person reference. I've never heard that.
Well, you can.
If I may
hashtag
talk
that.
about Billy real quick, that's funny.
If you build it,
Yeah.
they will come.
That's
Facts.
true.
That's
Thanks,
facts.
Kevin
That
Costner.
is.
So to answer your question in the peers forum,
Yeah.
I would say right now I'm the closest to being a professional because if I quit my job, I wouldn't be completely screwed. But I'll still be screwed.
I got you.
So comedy's weird, like any art with like a lot of money has come and then a lot of money has gone and not come.
Right.
So I've spent like the first few years, especially having a black family, the first few years I put a lot of money into comedy, and the reason I said black family is because black people always like, you ain't getting paid, why you going? You ain't getting no money from the show, why you going? If I had a dollar for how many times I was going out, and to be fair, I was stealing my uncle's card. So he had some reason to be like,
he's like, yo, dude,
exactly.
taking my card too.
Exactly. So it wasn't like it was out of nowhere. And shout out to my Uncle Sam, reason I'm here, right? So a lot of times I'm like, Uncle, let me get the car. You know, I put gas in it. Be like, you ain't getting paid like a few dollars. But a lot of them shows I wasn't getting paid for set me up to be where I'm at here. And the last few summers, not last summer, but two summers before, I was able to live off comedy. So I worked at CPS, Chicago Public Schools. Okay. What I do is I put like a little nest, but not a big nest, a little nest egg. And then for the summers, I was just making money off comedy and only spending the money off comedy and coasting. Right. So now I'm at a point now where comedy can pay some of my bills, but I'm not a professional. Not because it just feels weird saying it, but it's at a point now where like comedy is making me some money.
That's good.
And it took me.
Great.
That's absolutely great.
Dude, congrats.
I'm
And
still
took
calling
me
you a pro because of your work ethic.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
No, I appreciate it. Thank you.
No, we do fucking acting. We're doing this thing. We're trying to become. This is in its and
we're striving to build something.
I agree.
This
I agree.
And stages for us as well. You know.
And we have some ideas for you later.
Sure do.
We've already been put. Yeah, this is an announcement for later. But yeah, I mean, no. If you're that was such a Chicago thing I just did. Yeah, no. Yeah, but if you're putting effort in and you're sacrificing doing certain things, just like Ron was saying, to pursue that, and dude, Saint, you're fucking all. I see your posts all the time. I follow you on the gram.
Hashtag the gram.
Cracking wise, the gram. You're crushing it, bro. You're all over the place. You're posting. I see you. You're in the burbs. So let me ask you about that real quick.
Okay.
Is there a big difference between clubs and comedy in the burbs and the audiences out there than in the city? I think there is, but that's a theory because I haven't done it.
I would say this.
I feel like I'm a suburban comedy guy. Like, people in the burbs would love me because I'm white and I say white people things. But I mean...
Yeah, I mean, that's half of comedy. Comedy is just being able to find a way for people to get you, I mean, and relate to you. And
I'm like laughing at your header on your Instagram.
Ha, that's funny. So I would say this. The clubs, Laugh Factory is interesting. For the most part, Laugh Factory is a pretty laid back place. They're a little bit uptight. They're liberal, so the little bit is only so much you can get away with, but they're fine. Zanies is interesting because they're like business casual. They're like 9 to 5 type people, so you kind of need that just. Really? Yeah, like just that plane because it's in Wales. You know, it's Old Town.
It's over in Old Town.
You probably get a lot of tourists because I mean you think Laugh Factory is a bigger it's a bigger brand, but Zanies in Chicago might be a bigger brand. Chicago.
I would say
in Chicago, not in general. Laugh Factory is
but here.
Yeah.
Because look where it's located too.
Yeah, and it's just been here long. Everybody who has who's a real name in comedy, I think it's touched.
They've been through there. If they haven't started off there, they've been through there at some point.
Exactly.
You almost can't even say you're a comedian unless you've done
exactly. Yeah. So Zanies might be a bigger name. Now, as far as the suburbs, it depends because I've done old white people suburbs, I've done young white people suburbs, I've done black suburbs, I've done all that. Sure. I would say this. They're more willing to have a good time because it's the burbs. You don't got nothing to do. Right. They're more willing to have a good time.
Shit to do.
They don't got nothing to do.
Make us laugh.
That's it.
Make us laugh. Yeah.
And on top of this, if they like you, they really like you.
Yes.
And
they'll follow your ass.
They would faithfully, like follow your Instagram, faithfully.
If they really like you, they're going to work the next day. Hey,
talking about
have you seen this guy St. James?
Exactly.
I gotta tell you, I went to his show the other night, and and Melinda had a great time.
Exactly.
It was super funny. Who would have thought?
Exactly.
You should follow him.
Exactly.
God, how many times I've had that goddamn conversation?
Oh, I've had so many funny conversations. I had a dude come up to me after the show like a month ago. He's like, "Hey man, you really funny. Hey, can I help you out with some of your jokes?" No, nigga. No, you can't. No, not even slightly.
So I can give you credit, man.
Yeah, what?
Fuck out of here.
And he was so.
insane. Okay, yes. Do you run into this goddamn thing where this has happened to me a bunch of times where fucking you go to some friend's party or some shit and then there's some friends of them that you don't fucking know and they let slip that you're a fucking comedian.
Oh yeah.
And then all of a sudden you walk into a room, they're like, "Hey, can you do some jokes?"
Yep.
Fuck it. Goddamn.
Oh yeah, all the time.
Fuck.
Man, it's bad because my family's the same way. I walk in, family dinner, 20 people at a table, no stage. Hey, tell us a few jokes real quick. Just real quick. Like, nah, I prefer not
I
to.
just don't want to. Can I be natural with it?
Yeah, exactly. Can I just talk to you?
Yeah, can I just talk?
So yeah, all the time. Oh man, I keep reaching for that.
Yeah, no, I that is the thing that just grinds my gears.
Ha.
is that, but I think you summarized that and broke that down pretty well as to what I thought it would be.
Yeah.
I have not done any stand up in the Berg, but I feel like that would be the very different.
And the last,
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, the last thing I add is you do. The only thing I do need, I think for the Burbs, you do need universal material. So just the only problem with like the city is you can do a lot of deep cuts because everybody's up to date. Everybody's on Instagram. Everybody's watching TMZ. Whatever you do to keep you just up to date. The Burbs, there's sometimes I've done some stuff like about The Weeknd, and it's like, The Weeknd? Who's The Weeknd? Like, how do you not know The Weeknd? To be fair, they don't know.
They don't know.
It's not like
They don't know who The Weeknd is.
So sometimes you gotta do some clean. Hey, my dad's a dad, and they're like, okay, yeah, I get that. I get that.
My dad's a dad.
That's it. Hey, people get that.
Follow this material.
That's it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah.
My granddad's old. My granddad's old. So sometimes you just gotta do some stuff like that. and
Oh, that's
Hey,
hilarious. That's great shit. Oh my god. Yeah, I think that's pretty much what I expected it to be because I've gone to some other comedy shows in the Burbs, and that is just the total vibe. Not that I've performed, I've been performing, but other comedians, top tier comedians, and that's the vibe I got. And I was curious to ask you this question because I was like, what do you experience? So that's very cool. Now, you brought up another thing I wanted to get to real quick for a few minutes, and that was Zanies versus Laugh Factory. So let's go there here in a second.
You putting me in real good position.
We can't avoid it, but no, and I'm not trying to get you in hot water because I know you do your show at the Laugh Factory.
Yeah.
And look, there are great things about both places. I've been to both.
Okay.
I've had a fun time at both places.
Okay.
Now, really, what I'm wanting to ask you more about, for maybe anybody who hasn't seen or hasn't been there, who might want to go there, what are the differences that you see because I don't do stand-up anymore. I stopped doing stand-up. You're still doing stand-up. You perform there. What are the differences that you've noticed performing those two places? What are the things you would recommend about each place?
So this is
beyond going to the Young Hustle show every last Friday of the month at 7 p.m., 8 p.m.?
10.
At 10 p.m. Check out the Young Hustle show, hosted by St. James.
Yeah, it's actually bi-monthly, but I'll tell you about that.
Bi-monthly.
Yep, I'll tell you about that. It's new, so don't worry about that. That's a new thing we did. Gotcha. So Zanies, the best way I describe it, and not to get myself in any trouble, Zanies a little bit more intimate, so smaller by a lot, and for
hot water, I think that's fairly.
I say that's the one thing that was avoided. I got some more stuff, but not worth fucking up my career.
Yeah, we don't want to get you on hot water.
No.
We
Keep that
definitely
shit.
don't want.
That's for after the podcast.
Yeah, that's for when we're no cameras.
So Zanies is smaller. They get bigger names right now. Laugh Factory might adjust, but they get bigger names, but it's small. It feels more like. If you ain't never been to a comedy show, I think that's the kind of vibe that you want. It's like you see, because comics are more likely to do like what I do. They'll go up there and riff and just talk about nothing for a few minutes. And as a person who's never been to a show, that's kind of what people think comedy is. It's just you're talking at your ass, which is not what it is. But people think that. So if you want that, Zanies is a little bit more of a better vibe for that. Plus, they usually have a headline that's doing like 45 minutes, so you get to know somebody. Sure. Now, Laugh Factory, on the other hand, love this. It's more of a theater type vibe. Was super big, and you feel like you're like watching them do like their special or something like that. It's that type of vibe. And then they also don't do headliners. They do showcase where at Zanies you're gonna see 3 people, 4 people, correct. And and the headliner's gonna do a lot of time. So if you don't like the headliner,
You ain't going.
You ain't liking the set.
Well,
But
you're really disappointed.
exactly.
Yeah, you sit
and you're gonna like all the headliners, but if you don't, you don't. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
The Laugh Factory is like 8 comics of all doing 10, 12 minutes. So it's like, even if you don't like this guy, 9 times out of 10 you're gonna like the next guy,
Yeah.
and vice versa.
And it's only 10 minutes. You can
Exactly.
survive 10 minutes.
Exactly.
You know, have order a beer.
Exactly.
Right. Exactly.
And that's really the difference to me.
I think that's I think
it's
that's
fair.
a great.
Makes sense.
That's great. That's exactly what I honestly would probably describe it the exact
That's
same
a
way.
great breakdown.
We went to go see our
Charlie.
compatriot
Yeah.
/ rival Charlie Behrens
Charlie
of
Behrens.
the Manitowoc Minute. I'm sure who you're familiar with because you remember. Okay, yeah. So shout out to Charlie Behrens, and we went to go see him, and I mean he was great. I thought he did a good job. I was impressed with him.
I was really impressed.
I've seen him twice now at Zanies. He did a great job. Norm and I went and saw him afterwards, and he was very chill, very cool. And yeah, you do get that more intimate kind of feel. And then when I was at I was at some show you were in, and a bunch of other comics. But again, it's like it does seem like there's more of an accumulation of a bunch of comics you may not know, but like that are people
Definitely
that
don't
should,
know.
that
Exactly.
you should that are
Up
like
and coming.
or people you should know.
Yep.
So I feel like you get more of like that real comic experience.
Exactly.
Like these are these people who are. This is what their Netflix special would be like if they had like you're getting that because it is a theater feel.
like a
Yeah.
preview.
It's
Exactly
it's
what it is.
really they're vastly different.
Exactly. That's the best part, too.
Vastly different.
It's a lot of, like, you can go and Laugh After you see somebody like me, which is like, I don't know, like this, this quirky black guy. And then behind me could be this Indian guy who barely speaks English, but that's kind of his thing. And then you get this Hispanic woman, and then after that you can get this gay guy, and then after that you can get a straight white male. After that, you know what I'm saying? That's the cool thing about that. Whereas Zanies, you don't get that, but the one guy you probably do get is going to do 45 minutes of killer material because he's a monster.
Right.
So it's like, what do you want? They're both good, but what do you want?
They're vastly different experiences.
Yeah, exactly.
People, so basically check out both, but you make sure you go check this man out.
You
Laugh
goddamn
Factory.
right.
You gotta check it.
The
You gotta
Young
check out.
Hustle Show
That's right.
every bi-month. Last Friday of the month. The bi-month.
Every bi-month.
Every bi-month. Okay? Yeah. So, I think you broke that down very, very well.
Yeah.
So, moving right along to another topic I wanted to talk to you about was let's get into some stand-up versus the improv. Now, Chicago, here's the thing. Chicago is a great comedy town.
Oh, amazing.
General. Okay?
Here comes
Is
Is
Chicago...
a butt coming?
I don't know if there's a but. Is Chicago more known for improv because of the Second City versus stand-up? Which I think is an interesting question to pose because lots of amazing stand-ups have come out of this city. Tons. But, also, there's the but also a ton of comedians in general that are not really stand-ups, like your Amy Poehler's, your Tina Fey's that came from the SNL, or that went to SNL, that came from the Second City, the IO. They may have done stand-up. I don't really know enough of their past to know if they did. I'm sure they tried it, but they're not really known for that. So it's interesting because there's also that dynamic where, like, improv, you're kind of like in a group format, and it's all off the top of the dome. Not that stand-up isn't, but what people don't realize is exactly what you've alluded to earlier, Saint, which is people think that, comedy, these comics are just making this shit up. Fuck that, dude. Stand-up is like, even when you think they're just riffing, nah, son, that shit's planned shit. Like Louis, Bill, any of that shit. All of their, like, stuff where they're dealing with the crowd, that's been planned. Or they've experienced something that they put it into their thing.
It's more that one, exactly.
Which people I feel like don't get when they're going to a stand-up show. They just like, I'm gonna have some chuckles. But it's such an
It's
art
very
form.
strategic.
What you do is an
That's
art.
what I'm saying. It's very
Not that
strategic.
improv isn't an art either, but like
I agree.
yours is strategic.
I agree.
You have to craft it. And fuck, I could go on an improv stage and just fucking do whatever the fuck I want, basically. So I know there's a lot that I threw out there, but let's start with real quick. Let's start question number 1 I posed, which is, what do you think Chicago is more known for? Doing stand-up, but being kind of amidst the improv crowd, which I know you...
That's an interesting question. That's a really good question. Never been asked that question. I've never thought about it like that.
Don't tell me. I'm gonna hear this shit for the rest of the week.
My ego is like.
Well, because when people do stand up versus improv, they usually just go, which one's better? And then, like, I've got that 50 million times, but never which one's
that's
the
a fucking
city.
dumb question.
Yeah,
That's a dumb question.
yeah.
That's
both great.
They're both great.
Yeah.
Like, that's not even a fair question.
No.
Which one?
You ask.
And you ask an improv person or then a stand up. They're
Absolutely.
like, what do you think I'm gonna say? You
Yeah,
fuck?
that's not even a
So,
question.
I'm going to say, surprisingly enough, I actually think the city might be more known for improv. Only reason I said that is because every white person I know thinks improv. My black family members, when they bring it up, they go, "Are you at Second City?" They go, "You at Second City?"
They
You
go
got
right there because they associate comedy
with Second City, exactly. So I think even though maybe they think stand up is at Second City, which could be possible.
The comedy club.
Yeah, which is possible. But I have to say with this, I think it might be improv. If you're just like glancing over, you be like,
Totally. I think so too, and I think it's not that much. It's
I agree.
not that much. I think because people, like you said, tourists, the first thing they come to Chicago, if they want to see a show, they're going to see Second City. They're going versus figuring out what comedian they want to see. They'll take a chance on an improv show.
Exactly.
Seeing a bunch of people that they don't know.
Exactly.
Versus trying to narrow down an actual comedy club to go to and pay their money to go see that.
Exactly.
Show.
I agree.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's like this hilarious stand-up is from Chicago, but it's not like because and now I want to transition into the other thing because Chicago is a great comedy town, tons of great stand-ups. But I almost feel like when you think stand-up, like New York is like the first city you really think of.
Yeah, and that's rightfully so.
Not and maybe LA. Like I wonder if Chicago is in the same rank as the population size. Like Chicago's third for stand-up. It's like New York, then LA, then Chicago.
I think so.
Would you agree with that?
I 100% agree.
Is there any major difference between the three cities?
Way
oh,
better.
Please tell us.
So Chicago's a great place. It's like an incubator. It's a great place to sit here and just get good because there's no pressure and there's a lot of stage time to get up and keep going. New York is a little bit more of it's kind of a place where you go to get great. You know what I'm saying? It's the best way I describe it. And I think it's the best way. Chicago is college for comedy. And then New York is the pros. And then LA is the pros / all-star game.
Damn.
That's the best way.
Interesting.
Wow.
Very interesting.
Yeah. Because I'm just talking strictly stand-up. I'm not talking about show business.
Yeah, totally.
For sure.
I've never heard it like that. That's.
I think that's the best way to put it.
Like in general, Chicago is known as like a
like a dress rehersal.
Like
It's the best way I put it, right?
Everybody likes people from here.
Yeah.
They like the comics from here.
They do.
But this is like get your feet wet, pull
Exactly.
yourself up from your bootstraps,
Exactly.
get hit a little bit, learn fucking work ethic,
Exactly.
and then you go to one of the coasts.
Big
Exactly.
That's
fish,
where
little
it is.
pond.
Exactly.
Big fish, little pond.
This is the best way I've described it, actually.
I will
Big
say
fan.
one thing. I feel like Chicago's like that scene in Rocky where Rocky is training versus like Drago, who's got like the steroids. Because, like we perform stand up and improv and shows where trains are passing by in these little comedy clubs that are upstairs in the attics.
Yep, that's true. Small ass little closets.
All the time.
So I feel like it's like Rocky where we're lifting the log.
Yep.
And they're like in the machine.
Yeah,
Yep.
state of the art.
Yep.
It's like okay, like a real facility.
Yep, exactly.
No facilities.
I mean,
Good point.
I stand by it. This is college. The best way I describe it is college. And the people who do really good that come out of Chicago are only here for 5-6 years.
That's true. I mean, 'cause
4
you
to
gotta
6.
bounce.
Yep. And then they always go to New York and they always go to LA. So
Budkey did that. Our mutual friend.
yeah, he did. I love Kevin. He's not who I was referring to.
I know, but that's the person who I thought of. But I mean, he was doing this. That's basically his.
Oh yeah, no, the fuck. I love Kevin. Shout out to Kevin.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad he left. We wanted to get him on the podcast.
Oh, he'd be a great-
comes
he'd be a
back to
great
Chicago,
interview.
We'll have him on. But
He'll be here in a month or two.
yeah, I'll hit him up and see if I can get him on while he's here. But yeah, that's a good breakdown. Also, I'm really surprised that you described it that way, but that's very interesting that you did.
I think, to be fair, I think most people who've been doing comedy as long as I've been doing it, which is like 4 or 5 years, they will all say the same thing.
Me too.
Yeah, they all say about the same thing.
Yeah,
This is
I think
college. New York is the pros, and LA's like nobody said. I'm probably the only person that said the All-Star game, but I think that's the best.
I get what you're
It's a good
saying.
progression.
Yeah, exactly. It's like it's it's professional, just like how New York is, but it's still got a little bit more glamour.
Exactly
If
what
I
it
You got
is.
the whole Hollywood aspect. You
Exactly.
mess around and blow. You mess around and get
That's exactly what it
movies and
is.
stuff like
Yeah.
that. Too, so.
That
You
is
get a show. You
well,
get a sitcom.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Well put. Because that's basically it. Like Chicago, get your chops in, learn some shit, get your work ethic. New York, perfect your craft. Then you make it to LA, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Can you act?
Exactly.
Can you sing? Can you
Exactly.
do all this
Yeah.
shit?
Exactly.
Oh, you're a New York comedian. What else can
Yeah.
you do?"
Exactly.
It's like one of those things,
Yeah.
right? And that's it seems to be like a natural progression
Yep.
of
That makes
things.
sense.
Yeah.
But you can still have a great career. I mean, there's nothing like you can't be situated here
Well, you
and
can-
be
you can-
successful there and like fly out
Absolutely.
there.
Well,
it takes a lot more.
I would
there,
say
but-
this. You said it the best. You could be a big fish in a small pond here and be comfortable. It's all what you want. And I'm not saying that to shame you, but if that's what you want, that's what you want.
Not at all.
Yeah. I know a lot of comics who are living comfortably here off of just comedy.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then it sounds weird because if you feel like naturally you want to say, but what else? But if you don't want what else, this is fine. This is a nice sized city.
I totally agree.
You could do a lot of stuff here.
It's all
You
about
can
what
get known.
you want.
That's
it's
all.
your thing. It's not somebody else living your life for you. to
Exactly.
make you to go out and do more.
Exactly.
Like comfortable.
Because I would say this. Now, if you get good enough at comedy in New York, you're probably famous. But that's a big if. Here, you can get really good here and, just be situated to be happy.
Yeah.
And New York is so much, it takes so much more to live in New York as a comic because it just costs more.
You gotta blow.
That's
You
it.
gotta blow.
That's just it.
You got to blow.
And
it,
now
dude.
with
Yeah.
YouTube and everything else, there's nothing to say you can't be that. And
Exactly.
then all of a sudden they're just like, hey,
Yeah.
all of a sudden you get a message, hey, fly out to LA. We'd like to blah blah blah.
Right.
Fuck it. It's all possible.
Yeah.
I want to go back real quick just to get one last thought from you about improv and stand-up. Is there anything that you have gleaned, perhaps from watching improv, that you use in your stand-up, and then either your thoughts, vice versa? I'm curious if you've watched anything from watching like a great stand-up person that has helped influence any acting or improv that you've done, because they're different art forms almost. They're in the same. It's like
I agree.
It's like having a parent company, but they have two different branches.
Yes.
It's
Or
like-
Christianity.
it's the same thing.
You know what I'm saying? Like
yeah.
Catholic versus
Right. They're in the same
Methodist.
family, but they're slightly different.
Yeah.
Different.
But
Yeah.
there's things that you can learn from.
Oh,
each
for
other,
sure.
I feel like. So, Saint, start with you. Is there
Oh,
anything that you've learned
easily.
from you?
I've learned a lot from improv. One, they commit hard. Whatever they're doing, they're committing to that character, sitting in that character. Two, they have a lot of fun. And as a comedian, you think that'd be natural to have fun, but you'd be surprised sometimes you've seen comics. And I've done it. I've gone up there because I do it so much, but sometimes I'm like, but like, no, this should be for at least fake it. You know what I'm saying? Fake that shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
But it's been
Yes.
so many times where
Sometimes,
you
yes.
see a comic go up there and not give it his all. I've never seen that with improv. I've never seen a group.
Did I
got a
not
point.
say this like a couple podcasts ago where I ranted about this
that's
shit?
very true. That is
Exactly.
true.
100%.
Because
100%.
it's one of the first things you learn. I mean,
You just have a good time.
Strong choices. Like, I mean, as an actor, you make strong choices.
Exactly.
As in improv, you make strong
Super.
choices.
And you sit
have
in
to
it.
Double, triple down.
Yep.
Triple down in that shit.
Yep, you gotta sit in it.
Yeah.
So those are the two off the top of my head. Commit, have fun. Being able to not being. So I did a little bit of improv, and it was hard for me only because I could not come out my head. Cause as a stand up, I don't know about you, I am always trying. If I'm on my game, I'm 3 steps ahead.
Right.
But even on my off day, even when I'm not doing well, I'm still like 1-2 steps ahead.
Tweaking.
Go.
Does this
What
work?
is he thinking?
Right.
What is she
Yeah.
thinking? What is my next joke?
Yeah,
What
yeah,
am I riffing? What am I singing? Are they having a good time? Do I even want to keep doing the same set? As an improv, you kind of have to come out your head a little bit, like, okay, what is he saying? And fuck, I'm sorry, fuck what I'm thinking. What is he saying?
Absolutely.
And
Right.
play off that.
And you
Right.
gotta listen.
Right.
Extremely.
You have to listen so much.
Exactly.
And you can't premeditate and try to set yourself
Yep.
up because you'll mess around. I'm gonna say that, but then you're anticipating them saying something. They'll say something different. And if you're not listening, you go drop something.
See-
It's like now you're not taking care
Exactly.
of your partner.
Exactly.
So,
Stand-up is kind of like golf, and
You're by
improv is
yourself.
like a team sport.
absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Dude, totally.
And
So it's weird to try and blur the lines and
Exactly.
go in the opposite direction because you're so used to doing one vein
Exactly.
that you're like, what? It's just how it is.
And you made a great point, which I was trying to make. I didn't say as well. When I was doing improv, it's so many times just because I riff a lot. I do enough quote unquote improv in my comedy where I kind of can get a joke out of just talking to somebody.
I can tell you can get a joke.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's been so many times when I'm doing improv, I'm talking to them. I'm like, oh, I got this one in the bag, and then they
Home
go
run.
a completely different way, and I'm like, but I still want to say this right
You
here.
don't want to say that shit. You like, I gotta tuck it back.
Exactly.
You gotta put it away.
Exactly. And that might be my hardest problem with improv is like, I'm like, how do I?
And that's
the thing.
I remember Amy Poehler said it. She or either her or Tina Fey. One of them. I think it was Amy. She said, somebody asked her a question, is improv hard? And she's like, hell yeah, it's just hard as hell, dude.
For sure.
It's
Very
hard.
much so.
It's like it's just not easy. That's
Yeah.
why like anyone that says,
I agree.
Improv, this shit whack, dude. Get
Super.
your ass up there.
Oh, for
Ever
sure.
Talk
100%.
negative about improv unless you have tried that shit.
Exactly.
Correct.
If you tried it before, then you can say whatever you want. But for someone to say something negative about improv and they've never tried it, try it.
I agree.
You-
It'll
my
humble you
friend.
very fast.
Very fast.
Fuck yourself.
Yeah.
So yes, good final thought. I think on that topic. One last very quick question.
Okay.
I hope it'll be quick. But to kind
I
of
agree.
round out this
I got
comedy
you.
discussion before we move on to two other segments, real quick segments, is what would be your advice? Because a lot of people come to Chicago to do comedy, stand-up and improv. What would be your advice to somebody starting out in comedy in Chicago
That's a good
today?
question.
Oh, I mean, it's simple. Just get up as much as possible. Don't be afraid of being bad. If anything, just enjoy the process of being bad because you're not going to always be bad. What I see a lot of people do is a lot of people are naturally funny, so they jump into comedy. But what a lot of people don't appreciate, the same with improv, is you can be funny in real life and still be an awful comedian. I have friends, I want to say their names, who are stupid funny, not great comics. Just not good comedians. And it's not because they're not funny.
Right.
It's because this is a art form and a skill you have to learn. So don't let your ego get in the way. It's like going to the gym. You're not gonna be as strong as everybody else, but that's the best part because you get to grow a little bit. So just get up as much as possible. If you're disciplined, write a lot. But if you're not disciplined, just get up, and everything else will work yourself out. Mm-hmm. That would be my best advice.
That's good advice. I would agree with that
very, very good advice.
100%.
I agree. Yep. Listen to this
100%.
man. He know what he's talking about,
He
y'all.
does. He does. Well, moving right along in
Other
other
news.
news. Before we get to the next segment,
The next segment.
hey, do you like food? Do you like to eat food? Do you like to go and get your food? Some people call that getting groceries. Well, if you like getting groceries, and do you like to get groceries at a cheaper price than some of the very large and snooty type of grocery stores like Mariano's and Whole Foods and blah, well, then go to Tony's Foods. Tony's, it's a great place to shop. Really cheap and very inexpensive produce at a good, convenient price for you, the general consumer in Chicago and out there who just wants to get a piece of chicken and not have to buy it for $20 a pound. Go to Tony's. Tony's Foods. They're all over the fucking place in Chicago. Great prices, great produce, great food. Tony's. Go to a Tony's near you. I do.
I used to
Awesome.
get my propane tanks from Tony's, by the way.
Or if you need propane. That's Tony's Foods. Not yet a sponsor, but could very well be.
I just want to say I love this segment that y'all do. I love this shit. This shit is beautiful. I love this.
Now, it's time for a very quick segment. I want to do this because we're all going to have fun with this one. It's going to be very short, but I just feel like we all want to get this
can't
off our
wait.
chest.
Yes.
It's time for Smackers for the Packers.
Yeah.
Gentlemen.
Fuck them.
You know, as Bears fans.
We're going to have you on like once a month and shit, dude.
yeah,
Because
dude,
like,
this
Fuck
no,
the Packers.
for real.
Fuck
I mean,
the Packers.
fuck it all. I mean, we could all have a little. This is a great
Yeah.
day.
Oh,
for
yeah.
us.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, you know,
Oh, yeah.
as Bears fans, we don't always have the most things to be happy about. But
Oh, yeah.
man, when the
Probably
Packers
mostly we
get
don't.
smacked in the ass.
Oh, that
against
was
the
beautiful.
49ers, That was the most amazing.
That was
thing.
beautiful.
I was with all my Packers buddies last.
Ha!
And my one buddy was on a trip with his girlfriend. They're going on like a year-round trip, whatever. But they came back because apparently it was cheaper. I don't know how that worked out. But anyway, I'm happy to see him. And they're like, oh, I had to go to another birthday thing for my buddy Joe, who I do the improv show, Irish improv show. like, oh, forget him, man. But I'm like, he's turning 30. Like, it's his 30th birthday. Like, nah, come on, man. We're only here for the... And then we're watching the game, and I thought it was going to be a good game. I was excited.
Everyone was expecting
They
to be a good
started
game.
to get spanked.
Okay.
And, like, right towards the end of the half, I was just like...
Ha.
I couldn't hold it
I
in
know
anymore.
it was really quiet over there.
It
And
was
shit.
super quiet.
Oh,
They were
yeah.
getting super. My friend was like stress eating. It was a thing. And then eventually got to the point where just like, you can go. You can leave now. Because I just started, I was like laughing.
Wow.
It was the best
You
feeling.
got
That's so
Oh,
funny.
because they give me so
Packers
much
fans.
shit.
Hey, you know what? I tell you this. Packers fans are sensitive, yo.
Yeah.
Like Patriots fans.
They
can't
are
stand losing.
sensitive.
I mean, here's the thing. I like Tom Brady. Patriots fans are. I do not. When they booed the Patriots this year, I'm like, really? You gonna boo the people that got you 6 championships? And
They expect to win every year.
I hate that. That's
I don't
why
like that shit
I don't like that
I
at
don't
all.
like that shit.
I don't like that at all.
'Cause you know I don't like that shit.
Yeah, I don't like Green Bay people because them niggas too cocky. You just
They some cocky ass people, man.
I don't like it, bro. You know what I'm
I
saying?
love my brother-in-law. He's a Packers fan. V, you get a pass. You a great dude. And my neighbor Fritz, you a great dude.
But everybody else,
Everybody else, man, fuck y'all,
We
man.
know a couple of good ones. Ryan Packer, shout out to him. Steve Tate, the
Absolutely,
owner. Shout
the
out to
owner.
him. There's
Shout
a
out
good
to
one.
Steve
Shout out
Tate.
to Charlie
Absolutely,
Barons.
Charlie Barons.
But the rest of
The
them.
rest of y'all,
Yeah.
man, y'all already
Bart
know how
Smitty.
we feel.
Oh, yeah.
We watched that game like, yes.
Y'all got spanked.
oh yeah,
man.
Up
I was
the nerve.
a 49ers fan
Bro,
yesterday, yo.
Rodgers
Ah, me
cannot
too.
play in his home state.
Nope.
He can't win in California.
They actually
Not the
said
playoffs.
they were saying
Certainly
that it's like he knew what was gonna happen when he got
Yeah.
off the when he got off the plane. And
Really?
shit, dude.
I mean, to be fair, the 49ers are just, well, probably was actually a better team.
They
To
are a
be,
better
They
team.
are.
yeah.
No, it's not even, and it's not even a knock on. I can't even let him say it. It's not even a knock on Green Bay.
Yeah.
Like they still had a solid ass season.
Yeah.
But they were no match for
Not at all.
49ers because they got their ass smacked
Yeah.
the first time too.
Oh yeah, first time they're just too sensitive, which I enjoy saying.
I feel like
Packers.
Seahawks Niners would have been a better NFC.
That would have been so fun. But I'm actually rooting for Patrick Mahomes. I
I
really
am
love.
too. I'm going with
mean,
Patrick.
Yeah, I can't.
Yeah, I'm going with Patrick and
I mean, I
Andy
just-
Reid. They got too many weapons.
But you got
Too
Jimmy
many
Garoppolo,
of them.
he's a hometown boy, and actually shout out to John Goldbeck. Apparently, he's from some high school that John's kids went to. I can't remember. John, if you ever watch this or you're watching, let us know what high school it is. But the Mustang somewhere, and I don't remember what high school. But Jimmy is first of all, he's a good looking man. Second, he's
he's
from
a handsome
Illinois,
dude. He's a
so
stud.
it's a little bit like I don't really give a shit either one. But I think I would rather go
Yeah,
with Kansas City.
I would too. I like the 49ers storyline though. I just enjoyed that Voice team. Like what last year? 2 years ago? Last year.
ago.
Voice team to like Super Bowl.
Or 2 to 3 years ago when Lynch came and took over as a GM,
Yep.
him and when they put Kyle Shanahan in there as
Yep.
the coach, they really turned things around fast.
I like that. I really
They
enjoyed
turn-
that.
I mean, they turn around fast. I watched the KC game yesterday. They just got so many weapons. Man.
Yeah, it's
just
nuts.
fun
Ridiculous.
to see. Like, okay,
They're
so who's
explosive.
gonna be the one that's gonna take the top off the defense?
Yep.
You
You
can't
can't-
double.
None of
No,
them.
it's impossible.
It's gonna be
It's
gonna
going to be
fun to
very,
watch.
very interesting. Great number one defense, number one offense. It's going
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
be a show.
Who's going
It's
to
gonna be a
win?
show.
The
But you know,
offense
I'm
or
really
defense?
excited for J-Lo and Shakira. I'm a girl. And sir.
I just realized, I didn't even know who, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what to.
Two old Latina ladies shaking their ass. I'm psyched.
What is what is
Yeah.
what is?
That's true.
For all Latino,
Oh, they still hot though.
like, I mean, they're gorgeous women.
Yeah,
They
they
are.
still
I
got
shouldn't-
it.
I know,
They
but
still
it's-
got it.
Amazing shit.
They
This is
still
true.
got it.
This is
Oh, that's true.
This is true.
Not sure if I'm looking forward to it, but okay. But, like, I'm not sure if I'm like really excited about it.
I mean, I might not be watching closely.
Ah,
Last thought on this segment before we move on. Thought for this segment is we could have had Jimmy or Mahomes.
oh, I think yeah. This at this point it's just
Yeah, it's like, you know what? I'm gonna stop. I mean, I don't even want to even.
Don't even think about it.
Don't
Don't think about it. Just do it.
Yeah, because
Nah.
the way it's looking, I think Kansas City is gonna win. Mahomes gonna get that chip,
yeah.
and
It's crazy
it's
because
going
he's
to
like
be either
24, right? 23.
20. I think he's 24. 24 years old, and this kid. I mean, he's the best player in football.
Yeah, for sure.
100%.
For sure.
Best player in football. But
Bar none.
They were trying to say he's the best player in all sports, and then that was a discussion this morning. But he's definitely the best player.
Football's tricky. It's hard to do football because basketball, if you're the best person in basketball, it's almost like dominant because it's the only sport, not the only sport, the main sport where you can play both sides of the ball, right? Football's a hard thing to do because, I mean, the thing about San Francisco is they got a really good defense, and that takes a team. So it's hard to.
True.
I don't know. That's just hard for me to do.
I say the quarterback position is the hardest position to play in all sports.
I wouldn't disagree with that.
With the exception of an ace pitcher, a starting pitcher.
Okay.
Those are probably the two, but I would still edge out a quarterback because your ass getting hit.
Yeah.
You got to get that ball out.
Yeah, that's
you
true.
Go routes. It's just all types of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, Tommy John surgery, but other than that, yeah.
True. I mean, you can
quarterbacking. I mean, pitchers. Yeah, you're responsible for a game, but you got relief pitchers that might be able to get you out of a shitty situation.
Hey,
quarterback,
when you got
if
a
you
guy
suck at quarterback,
coming-
your offense doing shit.
It's such a violent sport.
Yeah.
You know, baseball. You can play. You can play baseball. You can be in your late 40s.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just keeping that arm.
This is interesting.
Throw your arm out, but I just think being a quarterback, the playbook itself.
Yep.
Yep.
You know?
Yep.
The quarterback
Exactly.
is the leader of the team.
Yep.
You want to go up after every game, win or lose. You got to have that. You know, so I think that the quarterback position is so important. You got to be squeaky clean.
Yep.
Yep.
No, I agree. I don't think we disagree. I think 100%.
That kid is amazing.
He is. He's something
Let's
beautiful.
just do this prediction. Who wins Super Bowl?
Kansas City Chiefs over 49ers. Yo, dude, they go get in that end zone a few times. 28. Yo, Jimmy only threw eight passes?
8 passes.
That's a problem, dude. You got to throw
No,
away.
they didn't have to. They ran all over Green Bay.
I understand that. He's got to throw the ball more against them. So it's going to be 28, 20-10. 28-10.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh, you're taking them big. I don't know if I agree with that one. I'm going to go. Man, it was hard, man. I was thinking about this today. Only reason I'm afraid is because the 49ers, they can run that ball, bro.
True.
And they they keep him on the sideline. I'm going to take Kansas like you. I'm going to take it big, though. I'm going to take it like 35-28.
I don't think I know Jimmy played well against the Saints. He was going back and forth with Drew Brees.
You don't think he got it?
I think, dude. Do y'all understand Super Bowl pressure?
That's true. That's a good point.
I think, dude, Patrick Mahomes had so much energy before that game. He was bouncing as he was walking into the field. Like when he scored that touchdown, I mean, that dude is ready. I don't see Jimmy G matching his intensity.
Mm-hmm. I 100% agree. My thing too, I was saying running. I agree with the quarterback
They're
thing.
going to have to run to death, and I think Andy is going to come up with a scheme that's going to take that away. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
They go force because they know he has to throw the ball. They go force. They go take away the run game. They go make him. If he's going to win, if San Francisco is going to win that game, he going to have to sling it. He going to have to put the points on the board. But then they got to stop them from scoring. And I think that's going to be the problem. And I know their defense is on point, but it's too many people to look out for. And at the end of the day, you got to watch Mahomes because he can't run too.
Yeah.
Kansas City 31-30. All right,
Damn.
moving right along. In other news, Ron, it's the last segment of the show.
Okay.
It's our favorite segment.
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
time for
The Jag-Off of the Week.
All right, very quick, very quick jag-off.
Yeah, dude.
As
that was
this
so
week's
nasty.
jag-off
Yeah.
is one other than Delta Airlines.
Yeah, Delta.
Hey, go fuck yourself, Delta. You and
Seriously.
United can go just have a piddle-paddle party with yourselves, okay? Diddle-daddle yourselves because you're a bunch of fucking weirdos and a bunch of jag-offs because Delta, guys, listen to this. Delta, they had a jet that just dumped a bunch of jet fuel when they weren't supposed to, hit a bunch of kids in Texas.
Wait,
What happened to
Sorry,
the
in LA.
kids?
how
LA.
do you?
Yeah, that's awful.
Fucking ridiculous.
How low was that plane, man?
Yeah.
It was very low. At least 20 children were treated for minor injuries. This is according to NBCNews.com. At least 20 children were treated for minor injuries after being exposed to jet fuel, according to Los Angeles County Fire Department. It was in LA, sorry, not Texas.
Okay.
Right after flight got off of LAX. Students and staff were on the playground at the time and may have been sprayed by fuel or inhaled fumes. The Los Angeles Unified School District said. Fucking Delta Flight 89 on its way to Shanghai. So that was a lot of fuel. A lot.
I hope
of
they
fuel.
pulled over and refueled. That's a lot.
Damn.
Unless they got a plane pit stop to go roll up there and connect to
Ladies
them.
and gentlemen, we just realized that we just dumped a bunch of fuel on some kids, so we're gonna have to land. What?
For
He's
real.
like, in the back.
Yo.
I will say there were definitely some parents that were like, "You take that fuel, baby, because you just got the paycheck."
Man.
Got paid.
Well-
And luckily, most of the children, right, Norm, were not they're
Seriously
not
injured?
seriously
Serious.
injured.
Oh.
But they go get that money.
Yeah, man.
Get that.
Oh, okay, in that case,
It
hey,
was just
that's
a little wet.
that's a W for the family.
Ooh, that's
Yeah,
a
that's a-
super
That's a
dub.
W.
Check it up for a dub.
Yo,
Yeah.
man.
But still, jet fuel on kids. Ooh,
Yeah, that's awful.
That's a payday
That-
for the family.
that's-
You know what I'm
that's pretty
saying?
bad.
Can you imagine? I mean, like the CEO of Delta's got to be like, you got to be kidding.
Yeah.
Fucking
Like,
joking.
seriously?
Motherfuckers.
Just gonna blame the pilot.
Yep, just blame the pilot. He fired. He gone. But anyway, Delta, you're a bunch of jag-offs. Ron, you want to give him a good old...
You know what, Delta? Like, just pay attention. Like, how you dumping fuel on kids? How y'all doing that? Like,
It's whack.
Wait, Norm was saying that you got to be at a certain altitude before you just dump your. You can't be up. A quick dump, huh? Shame on you.
A quick dump.
Shame on you. Hey, wish I was in LA.
Yeah.
You know, because they ain't get hurt. You know what I'm saying?
right.
I could have,
That's right.
you know, got my hoodie all gassy. And, man,
right.
yo.
It's delicious. So, St. James, you want to roll it out with the last throwing of the jag-off out to these jag-offs?
Hey, Delta. Fuck y'all niggas. I don't like y'all anyway. I don't take y'all. We out.
And you-
Fucking jag-offs. Delta Airlines, you're the jag-offs of the week, you bunch of jag-offs. And as we close out the episode, this episode is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. We don't dump jet fuel on kids. We're the best airlines in the United States. I don't work for Southwest. I just fly Southwest because I'm smart. So fly Southwest and not United or Delta. And with that, gentlemen, that rounds out this episode of the Chicago 60 podcast.
I actually might be flying United.
No. Well, hope you don't get carried out for some odd reason. That's hate crime. You'll get paid.
Hey, I'm
so
not
maybe.
flying. But I'm not flying Delta.
But anyway, that was this week's episode of the Chicago 60 podcast. We hope you enjoyed it, everybody. We will be coming out with all the clips and tips and chips. I don't know.
We're not talking
coming
about the
out
clips.
this-
We're not
all
going to talk
this-
about them. Y'all going to see them real soon, though. They
coming
dope.
out. They'll be coming out very soon. We appreciate you watching. Once again, I am Justin, your Jaworski, your illustrious host. I want to thank Ron Russell, my co-host, for being there. Thank you so much, Ron. Always
Thanks.
a pleasure.
It's always great, man.
Quiet Storm and Norman in the booth. Thank you very much, sir, for being there. Appreciate you. And, of course, a good special thanks to St. James
Oh,
for being
man.
here.
Thanks for
Thank
having
you so
me.
much for coming. Now, St. James, please, if this is your time now, to give any shout-outs or to tell the people where they can find you, see you, etc., etc.
Don't have any shout outs. You can find me on Instagram at Life of St. James. I'm at the Laugh Factory. I run a show there twice a month now. It's the second and last Friday of the month.
That's what you meant.
And yeah, follow me on Instagram. If you want to come out to the show, thank y'all for having me.
Yo,
Excellent.
man, you were great. Hey, follow this dude. He
Follow
is
him.
the truth, man.
He's
Real talk.
hilarious.
Yeah, he is, man.
Hilarious.
Great dude, too.
2 shows a month, every month.
Yep.
Go see this guy. Young Hustle Show, Laugh Factory. I've seen him. Fucking hysterical. You should follow him. He's an up-and-comer. You want to know an
St. James,
up-and-comer?
man. Y'all better
This
get up
guy.
on it now. Don't jump on that bandwagon
That's
late,
right.
man.
That's
Come
right.
check him out. Come support
Don't
him
be
out.
like Niners fans. All right. Now, if you enjoy what you were watching here tonight, then also please follow us and support us. Chicago 60 SIXTY on Facebook. If you're watching on the live right now, go do that. Hit that like button. Hit the follow. YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. Hit the notification bell because we have a lot more comedy sketches coming out, comedy videos, tons of new content this year in 2020. So if you're not on YouTube, you're missing out. So do that. If you're listening on iTunes, hit the subscribe button. Leave us a 5-star review. Because when you do that, it helps us in the rankings. So when people are trying to learn about Chicago, they find us. And that means they learn more about this wonderful gentleman, St. James. So do that. If you're
We're on Spotify. If you're on Spotify, I don't really know what to do on Spotify. Just like us, please. Follow us.
Follow
Subscribe.
us.
Listen, we really appreciate that. And on Instagram, it's Chicago_60 with the numbers this time. So please go and follow us on all those platforms because when you do, you see all the content. We have different content on all the platforms, so you don't want to miss out. All amazing content coming to you in 2020. Very soon, we'll have a Patreon account so you can actually give us money. So please do that. And with that, gentlemen, that ends this episode of the Chicago 60 Podcast. We have to end every episode with our favorite phrase of all time, and that is...
Bear down and fuck the Packers.
Like with an extra.
Extra. Damn right.
Extra.
All right, everybody, that was another episode. We shall see you next week. Actually, we won't because I'm going to be out of
Deuces.
town. We'll see you in 3 weeks. See you then. Bye-bye.